Check, 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 check. This webinar starts at 3, but we're going to go ahead and get launched early so that we can give everyone a moment to get in and get settled and get ready. If you're catching me on YouTube or Facebook Live, just hang out with me for a few minutes while we wait on the webinar to start. Thank you. Let me know on Facebook and YouTube Live how we're sounding in the comments. Check, 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 check. Live how we're sounding. We're scheduled to go about 30 minutes. May go a little longer depending on if we have questions. We may not have to go 30 full minutes, but I've got it slated for about 30. So if you're watching live on Facebook and YouTube, this will also be available after the live is over. If you need to catch it afterwards, no big deal. Interact with me, leave me some comments, leave me some likes if you're interested in anything that you see or hear, and let's connect after the call and talk about how we can help you grow your business, get some eyes on what you have to offer, and hopefully get your cash register ringing, get your phone ringing a little bit more, and let me know what I can do to help you along the way. So we'll have a Q&A after this. I'm going to give a few more minutes to let everybody get on before we get started. I've got the Zoom webinar going at the same time. It doesn't start till 3, so just give me a few minutes while we wait on them to get logged in, and then we'll be off and running. Okay. We will have a Q&A, but hold questions until the end if you don't mind, or put your questions in the comments, and I'll try to address them there. But we're going to go over some good stuff. We're going to go over mainly how to get ranked higher on searches, how to capitalize on hot leads when you get them, and some other strategies, how you can introduce your brand, your business, your product to people who don't know about you yet. All of that stuff is the way that we're headed in the digital age, and it behooves you to capitalize on these opportunities and these resources. Okay. So give me about 5 minutes and we'll get started. Thanks. Thanks to everyone that's joined already. Chris, I see you. My brother Jeff, I see you. Great 580, stand up. Hashtag the Great 580. Hashtag no longer shady. Hashtag speak live. Got to bring back that chop it up. That's what we got to do. Shout to A Better Design Flowers and Gifts. My man Chris and his wife Melinda do a good job over there. Flower and gift shop in Lawton. Go check them out. Google them. They're up there. You'll find them. Did a good job for our wedding. And a couple of other surprise deliveries I put them on at the last minute. I appreciate y'all over there at A Better Design. On the Zoom webinar, hello to Vanessa. Thank you for joining early. Like I said, we're logged in and we're broadcasting, but we're going to give everybody a chance to get signed in here. We're going to do a Q&A at the end, so if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and I'll answer them at the end. And hopefully I can get you some good information today on how you can grow your business. Yeah, Chris got his notepad up. If you've got a pen and some paper, go ahead and get logged in. and get your pen and paper because we're going to go over some stuff you might want to take notes on. If you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, again, you can catch this later. It'll live on those pages. But if you're in the Zoom webinar, you won't be able to catch it. So if you want it, let me know, and I can send you the video file another way so you can have it, refer back to it later. Vanessa, on the Zoom webinar, that's good. I was just getting ready to ask you to send me a chat to test that out. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Vanessa, what do you do? What's your business or your industry? Photography. Good. Yeah, we do. My wife and I do videography, photography. We're kind of like a wedding powerhouse team. So we kind of know that world. We're just getting started in the photography part of it, but definitely a lot of fun. Welcome, Lauren, to the webinar. Thank you for joining. Like I said before, we'll have about 20 or 30 minutes worth of information to go over, and we'll do a Q&A at the end. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and I'll answer them afterwards. In the meantime, Lauren, if you wouldn't mind, put in the chat what your business is, what you're into, so I kind of get a little bit of background on kind of what you're looking to gain here. And also, I mentioned before you logged in that the Zoom call, the recording of the Zoom meeting, I will send over to you if you'd like to see it so you can refer back to it later. Yeah, selfie room is cool. I actually have I had a office built in my backyard by a good friend of mine who helped me build kind of a podcast type tutorial type studio. So it's always fun to have your own space that you can produce content in. Welcome, Chris, Daniels, and Philip to the Facebook Live. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Welcome, Patrick, on the Zoom webinar. We're gonna give a little bit of time to have everyone else log in. Welcome, Melissa. I know Melissa. She's on everything. She's everywhere. So, thanks for logging in. Aesthetics, yeah. Is that like esthetician or what is that aesthetics category? Patrick, if you would, go ahead and kind of let me know in the comments in the chat what kind of business you're in, so I kind of have a little bit of background and hopefully can give you some specific information. Welcome, Brenda. Brenda's my stepmom. She's on the Facebook Live. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, injections, lasers, facials. That's cool. That's cool. I have a friend who does that, so I know a little bit about what you do. Not a whole lot. I'm the nerd internet guy. I don't do all that cool stuff y'all do. I do this dorky stuff. Shout out to Brianni. Happy belated to you on Facebook Live. You old now. Okay, we're gonna give it just a couple of more minutes. I know that I had 6 registrations through Zoom. I know at least one person in particular that I'm waiting to join. I want to make sure he gets in here before we take off, but I appreciate you guys carving out some time for me today, and hopefully I can give you some information that I think you can use to grow your business and get some more eyes on what you offer your respective audiences. Okay, just a couple more minutes, we'll get started. I'm not in the UK. I am in America. I actually am out of Oklahoma, but I work for a TV station, a digital agency in Wichita Falls, Texas, just across the Red River, across the border into Texas. We service primarily what we call Texoma, which is the Southwest Oklahoma, Northwest Texas DMA. It's all the same market. Our TV station obviously does TV commercials and things like that for for our clients there, but we also are a full-scale digital agency. So we offer everything from website design through social media ads, YouTube, things like that. Hey, Samantha's on. Hey, Samantha. What's up, Keith? Keith from Black Label Realty is here. He just did his first podcast interview this morning. Shout out to you. Congratulations. Okay, just a couple more minutes and we'll get going here. Yeah, I was born and raised here. We're in Lawton, which is about 45 minutes up from the Texas border, about an hour and a half down from Oklahoma City. We are Thunder fans, but that's about all we got. So, our sports fanship is all over the place. I'm a Thunder, Braves, Raiders fan. So you kind of pick and choose who has the best colors and the best logo when you're from Oklahoma. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I will go ahead and share my screen for the Zoom webinar so you guys can start to see the presentation. And I've got the Facebook and YouTube Live up as well. So we're going to go ahead and get going here. As I stated before when we first started broadcasting, that we're going to have, hold on just a second, let me get this squared away. About 20, maybe 30 minutes of content here, and then we'll have, if you've got some comments, ask them in the comment. Can't see you raise your hand, but I want to get through everything first, and then I'll field some questions. And beyond that, this recording, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, will be up after the webinar, so you can always refer back to it. If you're on the Zoom or you would just like to have your own copy, I can tell to you too, so you can refer back to it and keep the information. But I do recommend that you take some notes, write some things down, write some points here. This is a general marketing, digital marketing webinar that's going to focus on the 5 keys to digital marketing dominance. So there are a few things that apply to every industry type, and everyone can take these keys and apply them and do them yourself for close to free if you've got the time and or the staffing resources to do them in-house. You can do them, but we do have the ability to offer these things for you too. So let's get started here. First, the 5 keys to digital marketing dominance focuses mainly on your online reputation. So we'll talk about in detail what that means, but this is focused on how you can position yourself to capitalize on buyers who are ready to make transactions, and then a few things that you can do to get those buyers to the point that they're ready. Okay. First, let's see. I am Jason. I photoshopped this picture heavily because the light was bouncing off my bald head, but that's neither here nor there. That's what I look like. You can see me on the video too. I am a digital sales and marketing director with News Channel 6, a TV station down in Wichita Falls, Texas. Like I said, we service the Texoma area. I've got an experience of 10 plus years in marketing and advertising sales, specifically on the digital end. I don't know much about TV, but I've got some plug-in to TV and radio if that's something that you're interested in getting involved into. What we'll focus on here is digital. Digital is such a wide huge world, and there's a lot of things that you can use, and I'm going to show you the most important things to make sure you have set up first, and then your industry will dictate where you go from there. Okay. Actually really exciting, earlier this year I published my first book. It's 49 pages long, so it won't take you long to get through, but it's surrounding a lot of the same principles. It's called Dominate Digital Marketing, A Beginner's Guide. It's a really quick way for you to be able to understand how buyers operate, understand what marketing is in general, and then what you can do on the digital landscape to bring potential customers down the funnel and convert them into business. Okay. I owned and operated my own digital advertising agency for 4 years, where I basically doing the same thing that I do now with the station, where I meet clients, talk about their needs, and customize a marketing strategy for them to help them grow their business. That's the great thing about marketing sales, is we only succeed if the business succeeds. If you end up being one of our clients, we put your success on our shoulders, and we're only successful if you are. So that gives us incentive to make sure that we're doing stuff for you that works and gives you a good starting point and a good path to growing business. Okay, our agenda first is understanding your buyer, and we'll talk about how to build and why that's important and what that looks like. The first thing, the first key, hold on just a second, I had a hand raised. Let me make sure everybody can still hear me. If you can still hear me on the Facebook Live, go ahead and tell me that everything's good. Same thing with the Zoom webinar, if you don't mind. Just going to wait a couple seconds for a comment to come in. Audio sounding good? We good? Okay, cool. So the first key is understanding your buyer. We're going to show you what a buyer persona is and why that's important. Number two is how you're going to list high on search. That's important because we know statistically that the top 3 search results on any given search result page is all that matters. Okay, and we'll tell you how you can manipulate certain keys in your online reputation, which is point 3, to help you rank higher more often. Okay, and online reputation consists of your business listing information, which we'll go over, and your reviews. Those are the 2 most important things in developing a solid online reputation that communicates with search engines to help you list higher more frequently. And finally, conversion and retention. What is conversion? Well, that's turning audience members into customers. What is retention? Well, that's doing a good job in the sales process to where people continue to be a customer over and over and over again, hopefully forever. And we'll tell you what the keys are to all that stuff. Okay, so the top 5 keys. First, you have to understand the buying funnel. What is the buying funnel? We'll go over that in just a second. How do customers behave, basically? And what can you implement along their buying journey to help continue to pull them down a funnel into a paying customer? Number 2, build your buyer persona. What does your ideal customer look like? How should you develop who it is you want to reach, and why is that important? Number 3, nurture your online reputation, like we talked about, listing information, reviews, social media, websites, all that stuff, which goes hand in hand with number 4, capitalizing on hot leads. We'll explain all of this to you here in just a few minutes. Why and how can nurturing your online reputation help you capitalize on those hot leads? And if you do 3 and 4, great. Then number 5 is easy. You're able to get someone to choose you, number 3 and 4. With your online reputation, you do a good job with the sale, you do a good job with follow-up, and they become repeat customers. See, you follow these steps in order, it all works for you like clockwork. Okay, first, the buying funnel. This is a graphical depiction of kind of your standard buyer's journey. So how does a buyer behave in reference to what a business can do to market to that buyer? You'll notice that the widest opening at the top of the funnel will encompass the most people, and that's branding and awareness. Things that will help you build branding and awareness to essentially cast out a net at an audience that introduces your business, your brand, your product, your service, what have you, to people who don't know about you yet. That's what branding and awareness is. One of the first things that every potential client says to me when I mention to them digital marketing is, well, I've got a website and a Facebook page. I'm doing fine. That's great. You should have a website and Facebook page, but those things are only great for people who already know you exist. People who are following your social media accounts are already aware of you, or they wouldn't be following you. What about the people that don't know about you? How do we get in front of them? Well, that's what branding and awareness is. Things that you can do here are TV, billboards, radio, streaming TV, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, all of the stuff that's going to introduce your company or your business into an audience that doesn't know about you yet, that's never seen your logo, that's never seen your face, that doesn't know you exist. That's how we get in front of them. And that's how we get them into the top of that funnel. We run social media ads, we run TV, a long list of stuff we can do to introduce that customer, that potential customer, to your business. From there, when they in the digital world, when they start to interact with your ads and your content that you're publishing, we can do things like run retargeting ads where, you know, the data shows us that this person clicked on our video before and came to our website to check us out. The digital resources at our disposal are so powerful that they've just activated themselves into that second stage. Now we can follow them everywhere they go online for the next 90 days because they've shown interest in our product. I'm sure that all of us have done that before. We've clicked on something we saw on Instagram or on Amazon, and then we go to ESPN.com to check the score, and there's an ad for that same thing we just clicked on right there. That's how this funnel operates in the digital marketing world. We first make them aware of our business, and then when they interact with us, now they're in our funnel. Now we continue to put ads in front of them, to put content in front of them, to turn them from interested to considering to intent. One of the things that we want to make sure we know is, depending on your business, your type of business, not everybody may be in the market for you now. For example, if you're a realtor, not everybody needs a house today. Somebody may need a house in 6 months or next year or 2 years from now. What are you doing on the first stage of branding and awareness to achieve what we call top of mind? You want to be top of mind of these people so that when it is time for them to act, they remember you. Now they're on Google and they're searching for you and things like that. But if you don't do that first step, you're not going to achieve. They'll get on Google, and if you're not doing some other things we'll talk about, they'll miss you. Okay, so there are some things that you can do that are usually paid, but there are things you can do that will help you achieve that branding and awareness and drive some of that interest in research. And then when that customer is ready to start considering and then intends to buy, you've already accomplished those first two stages of the funnel and you're on the top of their mind. Make sense? Okay, so every step matters. There is a solution in the digital marketing world for each step, and we can talk about until we're blue in the face how many of those are there and how many are available. But you want to make sure you don't skip the steps. You know, we're going to focus, after this slide, we're going to focus on the bottom half of this funnel for most of this presentation, but a lot of people that could be customers of yours will never make it to the bottom of the funnel if you don't do the branding and awareness step. Okay. Implement a solution at each step. We'll talk about that. You can do Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, all that branding, all those branding campaigns. You can do that at the top of the funnel, and then you'll do things like search engine work and search engine marketing and good websites and email targeting that will help you accomplish the bottom of the funnel. So just understand how the funnel works as it pertains to marketing to a person, converting them from an audience member into a customer, and understand that there are different blended campaigns that you can do to accomplish each stage and turn them into a customer, which is conversion down at the bottom. Okay, and also know what to expect with each solution. You know, your branding and awareness campaigns aren't conversion campaigns. They're not designed to bring you a ton of sales right away. They're designed to raise awareness. Your YouTube ad campaigns for, well, I didn't sell any cars this month because I ran a YouTube campaign and didn't get any sales, that's not the right way to measure YouTube campaigns. That's how you measure search engine stuff, okay? I see you guys raising your hands. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments if you would. Let me get through this, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end here. Thank you for your attention and your question, okay? Go ahead and write it down for me though. Okay, so that's the buying funnel, okay? We don't wanna miss the people at the bottom of the funnel. That is the most important part of the funnel is the bottom three steps: consideration, intent, and conversion. And we'll talk in just a minute about why that's important, but we definitely want to make sure that we're ready for those people because they're ready to buy and you don't want to miss them, okay? Okay, first, building your buyer persona. Now, this is really only important for this first step, that branding and awareness step. Okay, because what we're gonna do when building a buyer persona is we're essentially creating a model customer. Who is the ideal customer that our business wants to be in front of? Okay, for some businesses, that customer might be specific. For example, if you're a country western clothing boutique, your customer might be women over 25 living in this area. If you're a taco restaurant, you don't really care who that customer is aside from where he lives. So depending on your business, who you market to will be different. Okay, but that's where you begin to really capitalize and maximize the effectiveness of digital marketing, is first knowing who you want to talk to. Who is your ideal customer? And the way that you can do that is ask yourself these questions. Where do they live? How old are they? What's their gender, if that matters? Are they homeowners, if that matters? What's their household income? What language do they speak? And what interests might they share? Okay, and just to go back through those briefly, why does where do they live matter? Well, because if you're a taco restaurant in Oklahoma City, you're not going to show your ads to people in Washington. Doesn't make sense. They're not going to come to your restaurant. But if you're an online e-commerce retail store who wants to sell my products to anyone across the country or maybe even internationally, maybe where they live doesn't matter as much. If you've got the budget and the content to get in front of everybody, then do that. But more often than not, most small local businesses only want to focus on specific areas. For example, Chris Grady's on the Facebook Live, and he and his wife run a flower and gift shop. For now, I don't know that they do mailed order deliveries, but instead they focus on in-person deliveries, and they focus on having a storefront that people can visit. So they're not really marketing to anybody outside our general area. So that's why that matters. How old are they? Sometimes that matters. Sometimes if I'm Silverado Trucks, maybe I don't market that to an 18-year-old because he probably doesn't have a job that can pay for that. So, and he's just not part of your audience. If their gender matters, then focus on that. Homeowners, that usually matters for like mortgage lending campaigns or realtors or roofing companies. You don't really market that to renters necessarily as much as you would homeowners. So these types of things are just, they're case by case depending on what your business is. Same with household income. Going back to the $60,000 truck, would I market a special on $60,000 trucks if to people that make 35 grand a year? Probably not. Maybe I need to show them a Chevy Trax or something like that. These types of metrics will just depend on what your message involves. The trickiest one is, what interests might my customers share? One of the biggest mistakes that companies make, that businesses make, is when they build an audience, when they build a buyer persona, they usually only think about interests that pertain to that product or that business. And in reality, your audience is more than just that. For example, if I'm Bud Light and I sell beer, I'm not just building no drink beer. Yeah, that's important, but I also know that my audience probably is interested in country music and college football and maybe rock music. And maybe I know that if I'm a mortgage lender, I want to reach people that have businesses or invest in things. And the great thing about digital marketing is we can build interests that are dozens of interests long that encompass various different. So we don't want to narrow our campaigns down to just what we're selling. We just need to know who our buyer is and what is he probably interested in, even beyond what my product is. Okay, so asking yourself that list of questions is good for helping build who you're going to talk to, so that when we, in our YouTube campaign, even our TV campaign, we know where to put those ads based off of who we're trying to reach, which helps you maximize your return on investment. The main thing that we don't want to do in marketing is put our message in front of people. So building your buyer persona is first, okay? Okay, a couple of questions when we talk about nurturing your online reputation. First, did you know that 50% of your search ranking is determined by your online listing information and reviews? Over half of the algorithm that determines how highly you rank on search engines is based off of two things: listing information and reviews. And we'll talk about what each of those is here in just a second. Okay. Next question. Did you know that 78% of online searchers are looking for a business near them, with searches like car dealerships near me or restaurants in Oklahoma City? They're looking for somebody close by that can solve their problem right away. That's big. Okay. With that, 88% of those searchers will contact a business within 24 hours. People who are looking for a solution to their problem will make a decision on that solution in less than a day. What that means for you is you need to be there for searchers. Not being ranked high on search engines is like not answering the phone when somebody calls you looking to book you for something, to schedule a job with you or to do business with you. You just wouldn't do that. You wouldn't answer the phone if somebody called your store and said, I want to buy, 3 t-shirts. You would answer the phone and you would take their business and you would give them their shirts. It's the same thing with search engines. If you're not ranked high, they're going to choose somebody within 24 hours. And if you're not there, they're going to choose your competitor, which brings me to the next point. 96% of searchers don't look beyond the top 3. They won't scroll. They just won't. That's part of what people do now. When someone gets on Google and they're searching for a plumber, if you're not the top 3 results for plumbers in that area, they're going to choose who is. And if your industry is one that has a high loyalty rate, like realtors, car dealerships, barbers, estheticians, anybody who's got a ton of repeat customers based off of your expertise and your customer service, if you're not in the top 3 and they choose your competitor, you're not ever going to get them back. If they choose your competitor and that competitor does a good job, does great customer service, does great retention activity, that loyalty is going to be with that competitor and you'll never see that person again. So it's important that we understand how searchers behave at these high rates so that we can make sure we're top 3 more often. And how do we do that? Well, we talked about before, we do that with making sure our listing information and our reviews are correct. That's half of the battle, literally half the battle of ranking high. And I'll show you how to do that right now. Okay. You got to remember that search engines don't work for you. They don't work for the business. Search engines are in business for the searcher. Their only job is providing the searcher with the most accurate answer to their question. And so how do we do that? How do we make sure that you are recommended by search engines in that top 3 more often? Sidebar, don't trick yourself into believing that anybody is top 3 every time. Nobody is. There are so many different elements to an algorithm on search engines that matter, and nobody's going to be top 3 every time. But you can be top 3 frequently if you do these things. Update your business listing information on all of the listing directory sites. We know about Google, Bing, Yelp, MSN, Facebook, etc. But I bet you didn't know that there are dozens of other websites that list your business information that you probably don't even know exist. I have a tool that allows me to run an audit on a business that's interested in this. And I've seen some businesses that only have information on Google, and there's literally 99 other sites that list information where their address is spelt incorrectly, the information is just missing or inaccurate. The way that search engines operate, though, is they all talk to each other and they all talk to your website. And if the information doesn't jive and isn't consistent, then you're going to miss out on your search. Sorry, something popped up. You're going to miss out on your search engine ranking getting stronger because that information isn't accurate. So do some research, find all of the websites that your information may be listed on and make sure it's spelled exactly the same everywhere and all the information is the same everywhere. Number 2 is generate, first, the number of reviews. Second, the overall ranking of your star rating. 3, the consistency of reviews. How often are you getting people to leave reviews? And 4, your response rate. Respond to your reviews. Google hates it when you don't respond to reviews. They don't think you're credible. They hate it when you don't have enough reviews, and they hate it when you're not getting them consistently. So develop a plan to send out texts or email requests or put a QR code at your checkout counter and ask people to leave you reviews. And when they leave you reviews, respond to them. A Google guarantee is important for certain types of businesses, like home or plumbing, even realtors. You can get what's called a Google guarantee. It's a green verification check mark that shoots you to the top of search engines automatically. It does cost some money. You will have to pay Google, I think it's $200, $250 a month, because they are ads technically. But the great thing about a Google guarantee, right away. Okay, so you want to get ranked higher immediately, see if your business qualifies for a Google guarantee. Okay, and lastly, build a modern mobile-friendly website with content. Okay, that speaks to search engines too. How much frequently updated, relevant text content is there on your web that's good on mobile devices and that has content? Okay, what I do when I offer this to my clients is I redesign them a totally new website, make it clean, make it fresh, make it good on mobile devices, and I publish a blog to that site every month, which refreshes that site's relevancy to search engines. Okay, we want to make sure that both our Google business profile and our website start to climb search engines for relevant terms, and that's how you can nurture that reputation. Okay, I'm getting a 7 minutes left on this 40-minute webinar notification, so I'm going to try to blast through this as best I can. If you're on the Zoom webinar, if you've got questions, go ahead and put them in the chat now, and I'll reach back out to you with answers if we run out of time here. Okay. Last, convert hot leads. Well, second to last, convert hot leads. Your website and your social pages have to be ready for business. Okay, like we talked about before, your website and your Facebook page and your Instagram page are great, but those people already know about you. We're not really marketing to followers. We're using the website and social pages to just increase and improve our credibility and help us convert those visitors who aren't customers yet. And we do that with making it pretty, making it up to date, and putting calls to action on it. Putting buttons that say call us, buttons that say email us, monitoring all of our inboxes across the board so we don't miss messages. Those types of things are important at converting those leads. Again, we don't want to do all of this work on getting these leads to the bottom of the funnel if we're just going to drop the ball when they get there. Okay, so make sure your digital storefront, your website, and your social pages are ready to convert those customers before you start doing everything else. Okay. And then convert them. It's on you at that point when the lead gets in to call them immediately, make the sale, make the transaction, and do a good job so that they come back. Okay, acting for retention. We want to make sure we turn these converted customers into repeat buyers. So enact an email campaign. Gather email addresses from your customers so that you can send them marketing materials to their email inboxes. Get them re-engaged with you that way. Get them to follow you on social media and communicate with them. Post to your social media. Do it every day. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And don't let people tell you that posting too much is bad for the algorithm. It's not true. Okay, it's just not. There's nothing bad about too much content. That's how you communicate with your customers and act for retention. Okay, and then again, paid ad campaigns. There are, much like the top of the funnel, that branding and awareness, where you can introduce your business to people who don't know about you and bring them down that funnel. Paid ad campaigns are good for that too because of retargeting. They're visiting your site, they're visiting your social accounts, they're visiting your Google. Paid advertising can get them re-engaged with a new message, with a new offer, etc. So all types of different things that you can do, especially after the buy. But first, we want to make sure that your online listing consistent and everywhere, and start getting more consistent reviews and responding to those reviews while publishing a website with content frequently. Okay, that's how you can be there for the call. That's the bottom of the funnel. That stuff is how you get in front of hot leads. When someone's on a search engine looking for an answer to their problem, they are at the bottom of the funnel. It's only 2 steps from consideration to conversion. So you got to be there at consideration. When they're searching, you have to rank there so that they can start to show intent and eventually convert for you. So listing information and review websites with content are what get you here to the consideration. Okay. Everything else you can do to continue to bring in more customers and more customers and more customers, and then the cycle just continues from there. Okay. Okay, we've got about 3 minutes left on the webinar. I appreciate your time. If I can't get to you in the next 3.5 minutes, I will reach out to you on email or or what some other way, maybe Messenger if you're on the live stream. But I will answer your questions, I promise, even if we do run out of time. If you've registered for the Zoom webinar, I've got your email, so I can answer your question that way, and I can send you this this presentation that way too. Remember that these are all things that you can do in-house. You can do these things on your own if you've got time. You can do things within the infrastructure of your business if you've got staffing resources, if you can hire somebody to do all this for you. But if you're anything like me and you don't have time to do anything else and you'd rather just have somebody do it for you so you don't have to worry about that, we can do that for you. That's what we specialize in. We specialize in everything from website development to everything we talked about today. Okay, so that's really the selling point here. It's not that you can do it. You can, if you can carve out the time and do these things and get them done, you can do them for basically free. But that's what we're here for too. We're here to take this off of your plate, help you search, help you rank higher on searches, help you activate ad campaigns that can get in front of new people so that you can focus on what you do best, which is conduct business every day. Okay, a couple of minutes left. Give me your questions if you have them, and I will field them now. Okay, I've got nothing on the Facebook right now. Let me check the YouTube stream. Let me stop sharing here on Zoom so I can look for questions. Patrick, you couldn't see anything? That's okay. I'll send you the finished video. I'm not sure what was happening on your end. Did everybody else have a hard time seeing anything? Professor Pro, what do you have for me? You have a question? Anybody have any questions? Thanks for that, Lauren. Okay, you've got my email and let me share that with you real quick. Well, you may not have my email, but I'll put it in the comments and I'll reach out to you guys who registered for the webinar. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm here and I can answer those for you. I'll stay on. We've got about a minute left. If anybody's got any questions, you can feel free to let me know. Yes, I'll give you a copy of it. Stacy, thanks for joining. Chris says, doing short vids, how do you start it? Be a little more specific for me if you would. If you have me on Facebook, you can find me there and I'll keep the live up on there. So if you want to just transition over there and have some questions, let me know and I'll field them there. I'll stay on live for a little bit longer on Facebook after this webinar ends. Thank you all for joining. I'll reach back out to you via email with a copy of this video so you can refer back to it and hopefully answer any questions that you have. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you soon. Catch me on Facebook if you want to do the Q&A. I'm at Jason Ray Elbert on Facebook, E-L-B-E-R-T. Thanks. Chris, your question about short vids, what do you have for me? A little more specific for me. I had to turn my air conditioner off in this office to do this deal because it's loud, and I am cooking. I wish you guys could feel how hot my head is right now. Now that my official webinar is ended, I can be an idiot on Facebook for you guys. Speaking of that, this is episode 5 of Stream for No Reason. We streaming. Where's Jeff at? He leave? He weak for that. I appreciate everybody that's still with me. What's up, Frank? Doing short videos for content is, really, the best way that I've found to do it is to first just outline some topics. Outline some topics that you think are going to be relevant to people who are interested in what you offer. Don't make them too salesy is one thing. want to oversell, I guess is the point. You want to go ahead and just make content, make some pointers for people, do some stuff of you putting together some arrangements, do some behind the scenes of some events that you're working, flowers and gifts for, and really getting comfortable with it is just doing it. I mean, you just have to get in front of a camera enough to just get used to it. If you talk to DJ, who does a ton of content for his barbering business, he wasn't comfortable at first. He'll tell you. And he started, and I was the same way. I started out not really knowing what to say, not really knowing how to do it. But there are a lot of tools out there, especially since AI has really boomed, that can help you come up with topics, that can even write the topics for you. And there's even editing software out there that can take a longer video and cut it into clips for you. I use that stuff all the time. Myself and Tristan will get on a podcast and record an hour and a half worth of podcast. And my editing is minimal because I'll just export the whole thing raw and then put that clip into some AI, and the AI chops it into clips for me. So I can give you some information about what those apps are, but there's so many tools out there that will help your content creation workflow just streamline. And there's not really a whole lot of work that goes into it. But as far as what to say and getting comfortable, I get on ChatGPT, which is chat.open.ai, and I'll just log in there and tell it to write me 10 topics about roofing companies, 10 social media topics. And then I'll tell it, write the script for each one. And it'll tell you what to say. It'll write it for you. And all you have to do is turn the camera on and say it. For somebody like you who's in the flower and gift business, a lot of content about you doing the job is good enough. And the main thing about social media now is pictures are cool, but reels run the world. Publish a reel everywhere. So do something short, 20, 30 seconds, just to get it out there. The reason that reels are more powerful is because reels reach people that don't already follow you. Just posting a normal post is only going to potentially reach probably 10 or 15% of your follower list. Reels can be anything, can reach anybody. As long as you're doing it consistently and you're just publishing content, people will start to interact with you that you've never heard of before. Every time I post a reel, I get likes and shares from people I don't know. And that's the point, is you want to get in front of people who don't know you exist and or have never done business with you before. So those are the two keys for content publishing that I can give you, is find some tools that make your workflow easier and faster, and use those tools to publish more content. And in your content should always be videos that you can publish to reels. One more thing I'll tell you. Every time I post something, I post it everywhere. Everywhere. If there are people that follow me on every platform, they can attest to it. They'll tell you that what they saw on Instagram, they also saw on Facebook, and they also saw on Snapchat, and they also saw on TikTok. And the reason for that is everybody uses a platform more than they use everything else. There are people in this chat right now that have all of it. I have all of it. I have everything. It's my job to have everything. But I use Facebook and YouTube more than I use everything else by a long shot. There are people that do that. There are people that use Instagram more than everything. There are people that use Snapchat more than everything. So how do you get in front of everybody? You post it everywhere. That's the only way. So shoot a piece of content, make it a video. That's why you make a video, because every platform has video. So you make a video and you publish that video everywhere so that everybody can see it. Frank, what is it that you're doing now? What business are you in? I know you're a monster salesperson, but that boy Frank can sell anything, man. I didn't seen him sell cars, seen him sell mattresses. I've seen him sell houses, I think, roofs. I don't know if Frank is selling. Frank can sell ketchup to a woman in white gloves, I promise. And that's from Tommy Boy. I know y'all know that reference. That boy Frank sell anything. What's up, Audie? Yeah, Audie's a faithful follower, man. She's following me everywhere. I know she sees it all. I'm glad she does, so she can attest to what's going on here. But that's how you do it, man. There's no reason not to publish everywhere. It's all free. Why not? And you're going to reach a different audience on each platform. Okay. What's up, Darius? Which AI software or apps do I recommend for making content? So I'll give you some pointers on what I use. Let me go ahead and type these messages here. So for creating video content, which is what I do, that's primarily my business, is videography. So most of the AI platforms that I use surround that. I don't use ChatGPT to build static images for me because I don't care about that. I use ChatGPT, which is it's chat.open.ai. I use chat.open.ai. I put that in the chat for you. I use that for writing content. So I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll say, I'll tell ChatGPT to write me 10 blog topics for an auto dealership, for example. It will spit out with the quickness 10 blog topics. And then I will respond to it and say, write me a full blog for number 1. And it'll write the blog for me. And now I have my content for that client that month, and I post it to their website, and they're good. I've also used it to write scripts for commercials. A lot of what comes out of ChatGPT, you'll have to tweak a little bit. It's not going to come out ready-made, but you can get yourself a starting point. And that's what it's all about. Like, for example, I'll get in and I'll say, write me a 15-second commercial ad for Autumn's eyebrows company. It's brows by somebody. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your business, but Autumn has an esthetician business, a brow business, stuff like that. And so if I want to write a commercial for her, a commercial script, I'll say, write me a 15-second commercial script for this business. And it will write it for me, complete with, this is what the scene looks like. This is what the lines of this character are going to say. And I can take it from there and I can tweak it. Another thing that I've done with it is come up with content topics. Write me 10 social media content topics for Blossom and Glow. I knew it. I should have just logged into Instagram and I would have known it. I know that. Don't do that. You know that I know. I'm on the spot here. Lashes, my guy. Blossom and Glow, my dude. Check her out. She's on Insta like that. But yeah, so I'll get on there and I'll say, write me 10 topics for social media for Blossom and Glow. The Lashes, my guy business. And it'll give me those 10 topics. And then I'll say, okay, write me scripts for that so I know what to say. And it'll spit it out for you. And all you got to do is read it to the camera. For video, there's a few different things that I do. So Gling is the name of this one software that I use a lot. What Gling will do is it will put your video content and the transcription of the words side by side. And if you've ever edited videos before, you know how long it takes. What Gling offers makes my editing streamline so much faster because I can just edit the text of the transcription and it will cut the video based off of what text is left. It's amazing. Should try that. Okay, that's one. Another one that I use is Cast Magic. So I use this a lot for our longer form podcasts. So we'll record an hour and a half of a podcast. I'll export that raw video file with no edits, and I'll put it into Cast Magic. Cast Magic will give me 10 potential YouTube titles, 10 potential YouTube descriptions. It will transcribe the whole episode for me. It'll give me a thread of tweets that I can use. It'll give me an email newsletter that I can send out to announce a new episode. It'll give me a blog post. So it takes what we're saying in the video and gives me all of these different pieces of content that I can post everywhere. That's what Cast Magic is. Okay, and the last one that I use also for video is Opus. Opus is one where I can upload that same fully edited video, the long form video. I put it in Opus, and Opus will chop it into pieces, a minute or less, and put captions on it. And then you can just download those clips and use those for your social accounts. Like what? Like we don't have to do any editing anymore. It's crazy. I just put y'all on a bunch of free game. Each of those things cost money, but it'll make your workflow super streamlined. Autumn, you still with me? Are you mad at me that I couldn't remember your business name? I'm sorry. Please come back. Please come back. I'm gonna have to apologize to her in the group because I messed up her business. It's Blossom and Glow. Go find her and get your lashes done by Autumn at Blossom and Glow. Any other questions? Oh, I got Frank. Man, I'm in solar now, but I dabble in a lot. Man, yeah, Frank can sell anything, bro. Or website development and designs. Man, listen, I could give you answers here, but that's what I do. I'm not giving all the free game away. You want a good website, holler at your boy. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it for you. Just kidding. Squarespace is good. I use Squarespace a lot. There is a little bit that you'll have to know. You'll have to know a little bit about how to build a good website before you get on any of these website builders. But you don't have to know how to do custom stuff. You will have to know a little bit, or hire somebody to do it for you. I think one of the biggest benefits to having a customer, having an agency do it for you is we know the ins and outs of what converts leads. So you could have a website with all the pictures and all the information and all that stuff, but if you don't have things in the right place or driving enough people to it and your calls to action are kind of out of whack, then the website really isn't going to be good for you. Here's one. I'll give you one more really important gem that I didn't go over earlier, but I probably should have. The best way to think about a website and like a Google business profile or even paid ad campaigns is your website is like your store now. Your website is your storefront. So in the case of, let's say, a Better Design Flowers and Gifts, right? Chris isn't going to open his store if it's dirty, or if the equipment is broken, or it's too cold in there because the AC went out. They might not open for the day because it's not ready for business. The same is true for a website. It's got to be pretty, it's got to be mobile optimized, and it's got to have calls to action. It's got to be ready to convert buyers. And if it's just there and it's not ready for buyers, then anyone who does show up to that store is just going to leave without buying. That's number one. Number two, even if your store is clean and ready for business and everything's working and you're ready to convert customers, if your sign isn't visible, your road traffic won't even notice it. They won't know that you're there. If a Better Design Flowers and Gifts didn't have a sign on the building or out front, it would look closed. It didn't matter how clean the store is. That's where the parallel is drawn on paid ad campaigns and search engine stuff. If you're not ranking high on search and or not doing Facebook or YouTube campaigns, then your website could be great, but nobody's going to see it. So using those two things together is what's most important. You got to have a store that's ready for business, and you got to tell people that it's there. You could have the greatest website in the world. You could spend $10 million on a website. And if you're not telling people that it's there, you might as well have just lit $10 million on fire. Doesn't matter. Darius says, how often and what times are best for posting reels or other content? Usually Wednesday evening is a really hot time for posting and getting engagement. Sunday evening is good. Mondays are awful. But that's just, those are the statistics. And you can use that to decide when to post if you're married to the numbers. What I tell everybody is don't get married to the numbers, because nobody really knows. That's the real answer, is nobody really knows when something is going to go viral and what made it happen. Everyone who's ever had anything get a ton of attention is consistent with their posting. There is nobody right now that has 5 million TikTok followers that is not posting a TikTok or several every day. And if you really go to their pages, you'll see there's a ton of reels and a ton of TikToks that don't really have a lot of traffic. Is it because their content's bad? Is it because of the fluctuation in what times are best to post? Maybe, but it doesn't really matter because they're not really worried about the numbers of any one particular piece of content. They know that the body of work involves consistently posting everywhere because that's all it's about. It doesn't, the engagement numbers do not make you money. Period. Your follower numbers do not make you money unless you're in the millions and you're getting paid by the platform to run ads on your stuff. But if you're trying to grow a business, the only thing that makes you money is getting in front of the right audience enough times that they eventually decide to act. And the only way to do that with the way that social media algorithms work today and people's attention spans is to post consistently. Do something today, do something tomorrow, do something the next day, and put it all everywhere. Eventually, you will see the growth because it's impossible psychologically that people won't remember you. If you're not posting because you're too worried about, well, it's not Wednesday night yet, I can't post it yet because it's not Wednesday, you're just restricting yourself and limiting yourself to how much you can do. You're leaving money on the table if you don't try to get in front of somebody. That's my biggest piece of advice is don't get married to the numbers. It doesn't matter. Your engagement numbers are not going to be what helps you grow. What helps you grow is staying on people's minds. Did you know that people are seeing you whether they're liking and sharing or not? If you're looking at likes and shares and comments and judging your success based off of that, then you're measuring the wrong stuff. There are tons of people who see and watch everything you do who won't interact with you. They just won't. You know how many times I've had conversations with people in public and they say, man, I've been watching what you do and it's great. And I hadn't talked to this dude in years. He's watching what I'm doing. He sees it because I'm doing it consistently. He doesn't have to like it to see it. I get leads from people all the time. I just got an email last night about from a friend of mine from high school who wants to book a wedding. I didn't even know he was still on Facebook. I haven't spoken to him in a couple years now. But he remembered that I do weddings because I'm consistently posting every wedding that Tori and I work. So just stay the course and trust the process and post your content and then post some more content and then post some more content and then post. It's a marathon. Marketing is not a short-term game. It's not a 40-yard dash. Marketing is a 5K, 10K, 15K marathon. People will forget about you if you stop doing it. So just keep doing it. It's free. It ain't hurting nobody. Just do it. Who cares if you got 2 likes? Do another one today and then another one tomorrow. People are watching, trust me. Any other questions? This is good stuff. Chris Daniels, what else you got for me? Chris Grady, what else you got for me? Hotham Whitby. It's not Whitby anymore. Hotham Sinning, what you got for me? Any questions? I appreciate the support, definitely. I'm going to have to pay for not remembering her business name later. I just know it. Blossom and glow, blossom and glow, blossom and glow. Hey, new challenge for everybody still in the chat. Say blossom and glow out loud to yourself 10 times fast. Blossom and glow, blossom and glow, blossom and glow, blossom and glow. It's hard. Anybody else? Going once. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to give y'all some time. Going twice. Going 3 times. I appreciate all of you for joining and for your attention and for your questions. If you have something good out of it, and share this to anyone you think might benefit from it. If you'd like to have the full recording or the presentation deck, let me know and I can get it over to you. And as always, any questions you have, feel free to direct them my way, and I will take care of you to the best of my ability. Thank you all very much for joining. I hope that you got some benefit out of this, and I will see you around town. Hit me up for commercial production, photography, digital marketing, logo design, podcast production, video editing, weddings, graduation photos. If it involves a piece of technology, I can probably do it. Oh, here comes Chris Daniels. Some websites charge 20 or 25% of your profit when you post it on our websites. Is that normal or not? If I'm understanding correctly, your question is, do you have to pay a percentage of your revenue that you make on your business to whoever made your website? And is that normal? And the short answer is, whoever you're talking to that's telling you that, don't use them, because that's not a thing. Depending on your business, it may. I mean, if you're selling stuff online, you're gonna pay a percentage to your Shopify store or whatever it is. But if you're selling a service, and or if your website is just kind of, you know, your standard informational landing page website, that's just a hosting fee. You just pay usually $50, $60, maybe $100 a month to have a website, depending on what it does. But the more money you make shouldn't be the more money you have to spend on a website. But it does depend. It depends on if you're selling stuff online or not. We can talk more about that in more detail. But now I build a website for a flat design fee and then a smaller monthly fee to host and maintain that site. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? A little bit of a delay, so I'll give you some time. Boom, 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 boom. While I have you, The Professors episodes 3 and 4 will be dropping this weekend. I know y'all are hype about that. Me and my man Triz and Riz, The Professors coming out. I also have an episode of Entrepreneur, my other podcast, coming out with my man Trent Logan. Buy or sell any home with Trent Logan. He's also affiliated with LJ's Floor Covering down there on Sheridan, so go check them out. Okay, so a couple of new episodes coming out for y'all. Check me out at promotionmg.com, Promotion Media Group on Facebook and on Instagram. Those are the pages for our videography and photography service. For anything digital marketing, you can hit me up on Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, or jason.elbert@kauz.com, and I will take care of whatever you need done. I've had you for an hour, so I'll let you go. Thank you guys very much for joining. Any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, share this to all your friends.